Has your lover been ghosting you? Are you not getting the kind of attention that you desire and deserve? How about getting your lover to chase you? Hi everyone, Robert Zink, Miracle Mentor and Alchemy Life Coach. And today we are soaring high like a big beautiful eagle. We're flying in the direction of your dreams and your goals. So imagine this, you're in a relationship and your lover, he or she has not been calling you, not giving you any attention, and all of a sudden it seems like all they can do is give you attention. That's what happened to one of my clients, Jenny. Jenny called me and she said, Robert, this guy will never return my calls. He's ghosting me. He's blocked me off of Facebook. What do I do? And I said, let's change your vibration and get him to chase you. Guess what? He chased her until she caught him. I believe that's exactly what's going to happen to you. Now, I'm going to share a master secret at the end of this video. It's extremely powerful, so stay with me on this. So high flyers, think about this. If you treat someone as if they are the king of your world, then what does that make you? That makes you a commoner or a pauper. You are lowly and they are king. Now think about this. When you elevate somebody up to that position, you have automatically lowered yourself to a lower position. And it's very difficult to attract the person that you desire into your life when you're operating from a lower position. Think of it this way. In a good relationship, the two of you are in alignment so that when you are in alignment, you can come together and interweave and kind of form this third energy. Not his energy, not your energy, our energy, our energy. So that's what happens in a good relationship. But in a relationship that is unbalanced, what happens is one person becomes filled with power, becomes the king or the queen, and the other person is down here as a lowly serf or a commoner. And so we have this great amount of imbalance. And that makes it difficult to attract what you deeply desire, the relationship that you deserve. Plus, think of this, the vibration created by chasing someone, by chasing them is counterproductive to you. What it indicates is that you are operating out of a state of want. I want to attract someone. I want to bring someone into my life. And what does want indicate? Want indicates that you don't have. So wanting is absent of having. So think about this. The universe is like this giant mirror, high flyers. It's a giant mirror that reflects back to you the vibration that you put out. If your vibration is a vibration of want, then all you're getting back is more want. You are literally attracting the opposite of what you desire. Another term for want is begging. Now, that doesn't mean that you're literally calling and chasing. You may be what I like to call vibrationally begging. In other words, you are begging, but you're not taking action on it. You're living in the state of I want. And of course, that puts you in an inverted power dynamic. That's very important to understand that. This inverted power dynamic puts you in a position of literally not being able to attract what you desire because you're so far out of alignment. So another way to think about this is that you have power going out. You are giving power to the person that you've put on the pedestal at the top of the mountain. You're sending power up as if they're almost a god. You're sending power up as if they're a goddess. And guess what? Nothing is coming down. Just a little bit now and then, maybe some crumbs, but not what you deserve and certainly not what you desire. So high flyers, I want you to hang in here because I'm going to show you exactly how to get the power dynamic working for you so that the two of you are equal, so that the two of you are interconnected, so that the two of you are building a true and honest bond, and you don't have this unbalanced state of wanting and begging and hoping and pleading that things work out for you. So one of the biggest fallacies, and you really need to understand this if you truly want to understand the law of attraction and how it works. Attracting a specific person, at some level we believe the more we give, the more we chase, the more we call, the more we take action, the better things are going to be. But oftentimes it's just the opposite. It's the opposite of that. And what happens is the more we call, the more we ask them to come over or send them a birthday card or do this or do that, the more they move up the mountain and the further down you move. And that is not going to work for you. So high flyers, it's important that when you're investing, and I'm not saying in a love relationship you aren't giving, but when you're giving, you need to be receiving. It's called the law of reciprocity. There needs to be a circuit of energy taking place between you and your partner. It's absolutely essential. So high flyers, as you begin to detach a little bit, detach from the outcome, and you begin to when the situation arises, encourage that other person to invest in you. In other words, you don't just simply invest in them, they must invest in you. You begin to shift the power dynamic and you even out the scales. And that's very important because right now the scales are very much out of balance. So through detachment, and encouraging them to do things for you, to invest in you rather than you always doing things for them. Encouraging them to chase you a little bit. And how do you encourage them? You detach. You take a step back. You see, when I take a step back, if I'm dancing, my partner has to come with me. That's how it works. As you take a step back, you detach. So by detaching, what you're doing is you're removing them from the pedestal that you've put them on. As you remove them from their pedestal, you establish a more balanced, vibrational flow of energy between the two of you. And there becomes a level of connectiveness and honesty. But on the other hand, the more out of balance things are, the more you chase, the more you are in a state of want, the more you are in a state of vibrational begging, the further they move away. Think of it this way. Look at this picture with my hands. So here are the two of you in a nice relationship. A breakup happens or there's a misunderstanding and you apologize and you start chasing and they move further away. Now, are they closer? Every time you chase, they move further away. You see, the more you chase, the more you indicate to the universe that you don't have. You're not establishing the vibration of, I am worthy, I have. And that's how we manifest with the law of attraction. So quickly, a little story. When I was a kid, about 4 years of age, I had a friend, and every time we played in the sandbox, he got angry that I wasn't playing the way he wanted to play, and he'd start running home, and I'd go chasing him, and I'd say, okay, we'll do it your way, and then he'd come back. And then we'd play for another 20 minutes, and he'd, oh, you're not doing it my way, and he'd go running home. I told my dad about this. I said, this has been going on. I don't know what to do. I'm always chasing this guy, and he said, let him go. One day he started to run home. Things weren't getting along in the sandbox. And he started to run home and boom, he stopped in the middle of the street and he said, okay, I'll try it your way this time. And after that, we started to have a good friendship. That's the same kind of principle that happens with the law of attraction when you detach and you stop chasing and you stop acting like an emotional beggar. So high flyers, one of the secrets that you must absolutely employ in order to get somebody to chase you is you must move from a state of want, or as I call it, spiritual or vibrational begging, to I have this person in my life if I choose. That's a very big, important point. If I choose, I have this person in my life if I choose. Absolutely essential. You see, when you talk like that to yourself, when that becomes your self-talk, when that becomes the talk that fills up your energy field and your vibrational field, you move into a deeper state of I love myself. I respect myself. I honor myself. And that moves you from being down here back up here. Now, I have the master secret coming up in just about a second, so hang in there. But listen to this. The key is to move out of scarcity about love. Look at, there are millions, no, not millions, billions of people on this planet that are willing to love you and love you exactly the way you desire to be loved. So first, love yourself and get rid of this scarcity thing. Like, wow, this is the only one. I must have this one. If I don't have this one, I'm just going to melt and collapse and stop breathing. That isn't how it works. That isn't valuing yourself. That isn't loving yourself. Love yourself, respect yourself, value yourself. It's absolutely essential. The more you do that and the more you detach, just step away, the stronger the desire of the other person becomes. They were up here. Now you're starting to move up here. And so now they are seeking. They are in that beggar state, that wanting state of getting you back into their life. And of course, you can choose to do that. Ultimately, you have to come together totally and completely and equally. It's so important. This is how you attract somebody into your life. This is how you get someone to chase after you. And it really works. So high flyers, if you follow these secrets, you're going to increase your confidence. You're going to increase your power. You're going to increase your inner magnetism. And most of all, you're going to increase your happiness. So high flyers, as you begin to detach, as you begin to value yourself, you increase your confidence, you increase your power, you increase your magnetism, your love magnetism, and you increase your happiness. And by doing that, you move yourself up higher, you make the scales even, and then, and only then, can you attract the one that you want, that specific person, and you're doing it really without even trying. All you're doing is focusing on yourself. If you want to know what it looks like, what your relationship looks like, if you really want to get a visual of your relationship, if you're chasing this person and calling them and begging them and hoping and pleading and wondering and checking their email and checking their Facebook page and checking their Instagram and everything else. You see, when you chase, it indicates that whoever you're chasing is running. Once you stop chasing, they stop running. Once you start raising, they are drawn to you. Now, are you ready for the master secret? Everybody thinks that the way that you get somebody to chase after you is by doing a lot of stuff for them, by always being there, by calling them, by texting them, by offering to pick them up dinner, whatever, okay? It goes on and on and on. Doesn't work that way. You get them to do things for you. Get them to call you at a certain time. Get them to text you. Get them to invest in you. You see, the master secret says the more they invest in you, the more they do for you, the more that they feel for you because they're invested in you. They're serving you. And that puts you just a little bit higher. Okay. You get the idea? And it puts you in a position of power but mostly it puts them in a position of wanting you. And that's a wonderful place to be. You deserve the love that you absolutely desire. Hey, be sure and visit us at lawofattractionsolutions.com. Claim your 30 minutes of miracle mentoring and alchemy life coaching. You deserve the love that you absolutely crave. Now, we've got some videos here. One of them is on how to get somebody to text you, and I urge you to watch these videos.